another deck today, and that I just got recently. I've been watching a lot of videos and blogs and seeing tarot decks and going, oh, that's one I think I'd really like. Is it still available? And in some cases, no, it's not. But some cases it is. In this case, it is. This is the XIII Tarot by Necro. Let's get that in there. It's a black and white Marseille type tarot with splashes of red. It's published by Fournier. I don't have any decks by them. It's smaller than a regular tarot deck. It's a bit shorter and thinner. Kind of reminds me of some Japanese decks that I have. I don't have a lot of Marseille decks. I have some that are Marseille-like, wherein they have pips like the Marseille decks, but the majors are very RWS. So, but this is definitely a little bit different. Let me show you the backs. They're non-reversible. Cards are a bit shiny, so I apologize. And it came with 2 title cards, one that mirrors the box. There you go. And just kind of a straight title card. And the majors are going to have to take some time. I don't know how I'm going to be able to read with this. It does have the name in 4 languages, but the Fool, and I don't know how well you can make that out, but it's like a cat armor with bug type eyes, glowing. Magician. It's very lovely though. I mean, it reminds me of the Geiger deck, but I don't know. So the Geiger deck is gathered artwork of various of his famous paintings turned into tarot, and I don't know if this is the same way or not. That's the High Priestess, the Empress. That it looks like she's holding a heart, and I like the bird there. It's not a parrot. I don't. The face is very detailed. I say it's a macaw, but I could be wrong. I'm going to look it up. Go look it up. The Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers. I like the back-to-back holding hands lovers. I don't see that too much, but it's one of my most favorite lovers images is when they're back-to-back like this. Because I think, and I kind of like the cages around their heads too. It's that, I think the lovers is, it reminds me of that, and I'm sorry, you have to forgive me, but the image of the lovers where it looks like they're pulling away from each other. Like I believe the Hansen deck has. Lovers is not happy ending, complete happy ending. There's always something wedging in between. So the back-to-back imagery is just something I really, really like to see. The Chariot. I don't even know what's going on in this one. So kind of perched up there, broken wings. The moon in the background. It looks like maybe the sun. Sun would make sense. Kind of an Icarus. Justice and the 8th place. The Hermit. There you go. The Arrow is very interesting. The Wheel of Fortune. Strength. Hanged Man. So this looks like Prometheus is what it reminds me of. Just the way the glowing and then the ravens on top as if they'd been pecking at him. Prometheus is definitely the Greek Hangman myth. And of course, death for 13. Get some of that in there. Temperance. The devil. I always do this. The tower. It reminds me of a Final Fantasy stronghold. The star. The moon. Kind of that Swan Lake vibe going. There's some very classical elements in these. Sun. Judgment. Love the books, the staircase of books. Let me see if I can get that up there for you. There you go. See the staircase of books in there? Isn't that awesome? Oh. No, the world. And that's the majors for this deck. This is going to be a very interesting one to work with. Really to think on it. And then, of course, like swords, for example. You know, it's basically pips. It's very well done. Has some interesting imagery around the borders. It does have a double border, so both the black border around it, and then of course the decorated border. You wouldn't get them much smaller taking off the black border. I'm not a person who takes off borders, so. And then the court cards. Interesting. And then the wands are skulls. They say wands, but they're little bird skulls. Very Victorian kind of death imagery. Ooh. Okay, so the court cards are not recycled. Sometimes in a lot of these you find that the court cards get recycled a bit. But no, they're definitely different. For example, here's the Knave of Swords. And the Knave of Wands. So I like that. Definitely like that. And then we have the Two of Cups, and the cups are hourglasses. Red sand hourglasses. Huh. I feel I need to really think on that. And then pentacles, and pentacles are keys. I wonder why they chose to give them the straight names, but then use different imagery. I think it would have made sense to just say Seven of Keys. Or, am I missing? Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. Am I missing a card? Sorry, I don't see the Page of Pentacles. It's possible that I missed it. Let's see. Oh, always when you open a deck and it's missing a card, it's always very sad. Knave, Knight, Queen of Wands. See here. Grr. Here's a thing. Okay, Knave of Cups, Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups, King of Cups. Am I just This is why you open your decks and look through them. I'm missing a card, I think. Did it stay in the box? That happens? Nope. Did not stay in the box. The little white book is like, so there's a little white book. Dice. Spanish, English, French, German, and Portuguese. And then English first and Spanish. Oh. Go. As the American expert Eden Gray says. I wonder if it doesn't always say who wrote the book. Oh, it's a Spanish company. I'll have to see if I can contact them and see if I can get a Knave of Pentacles. Sadness. So quote from Eden Gray in here though. And just curious. And then it has an interesting take on the Celtic cross. So for those of you who don't know, I write down and compare every Celtic cross I come across because they're actually all slightly different and it's interesting. I don't have two that are the same that I found, but let's see. Yeah, this actually, I think this is actually from Eden Gray. This reminds me of questions classified in general groups. It's been a long time since I read the book. It was one of the very first tarot books ever. Well, not the first, but when I really started studying it, I got it. My first copy I tore to pieces and rebound in different ways and used and carried with me everywhere. It was crazy, but it disintegrated, so I had to buy a copy. Oh, this is interesting. And then important notes it has on here. To work with two tarot decks, one for meditation, which should only be used in order to avoid extraneous vibrations, and one for fortune telling. That's an interesting one I haven't heard before. The basic meaning of the cards probably, should be the beginning of a profound study, which will lead you to acquire a sixth sense. Do not expect much from your first readings. Beginners can be described, then it goes on. So that's an interesting little white book. I think this will be an interesting deck to work with. Hopefully I can get that missing card replaced. I will double check here. But hopefully you enjoyed this particular unboxing. Sorry, now it's missing. I haven't had this happen in a long time. I think the last time I had this happen was with the Fey Wicked Tarot, which they replaced the cards for me. And back then, everybody was on Tarot, and I just commented about on Tarot, and they were in contact with me right away and dealt it. But I don't know, this is a different company at a different time, so we'll see what I can find here. But that's my dinner beeping, and my dog is barking at dinner, so I need to go. Thank you. I hope you enjoy.